Hi class, we're looking at debt capital now. Debt capital is an alternative way to raising equity to borrow money. This option provides a lender with prior claims if the firm is in financial trouble and creates a fixed obligation to make cash flow payments. And predominantly there are three different methods of raising finances through debt capital. And these three methods include, bank debt, raising and borrowing money from the bank, from borrowing money by issuing bonds, and from leases. When we look at bank debt, there are several advantages for bank debt. Bank debt, you can borrow smaller amounts, whereas bonds predominantly are for larger amounts. And bank debt, you can go to the bank and ask for financing, and you can communicate and you can tell them what you actually require it for. Whereas in bonds, there may be many different investors in many different places, and you may not have that time to communicate with all the investors to tell them all about the project. In addition to that, the advantage bank debt has over bonds is that bank debt, the company with bank debt, the company may not be recognized, and investors may not know about the company and have a track record with the company. So in that way, bank debt is better because investors may not want to buy into something that they don't know anything about. In addition to that, bonds can take longer because your company needs to be rated and the bonds needs to be assessed to give it the appropriate rating so that investors can actually look at that bond and determine if it's a good investment or not. So there are many advantages for undertaking bank debt. The next one are bonds. Now bonds, publicly traded larger firms issue bonds, and it's alternative to bank debt. Generally, there are several advantages. Bond issues firms. First, the bonds usually carry more favourable financing terms compared to the equivalent bank debt. This is usually largely due to the fact that a number of financial market investors share the risk. And secondly, bond issuers give the issuer a chance to add on special features and conditions that you may not necessarily will be able to do with bank debt. And then thirdly are leases. Now with leases, you can lease an asset, machinery or plant and pay a fixed amount over a certain period of time. You don't actually own the machinery, but you are paying a rental without the ownership for it, with fixed payments over a specific period of time. So when we are looking at bank debt, we need to look at, when we're looking at debt capital, we need to focus on 5 key points. Firstly, the clear alternative to using equity is to borrow money. Okay, so and there are different ways to borrow money. First through bank debt, secondly through bonds, and thirdly through leases. If the company is neither widely followed or well known, then bank debt provides a convenient mechanism for conveying information to the lender, the bank. To issue bonds, firms have to submit to being rated by rating agencies and to give sufficient information to make the rating. Okay, so you need to do a lot more research and provide a lot more information. And in a lease, the firm commits to making fixed payments over the asset's owners for the rights to use the asset. Okay, so that's on that section there for debt capital.